name is Morgan Shivers. I'm a student at the University of Texas at Arlington, and I'll be reading a passage from Dalton Trumbo's Johnny Got His Gun. This book has been banned in several states for supposed unpatriotism, though it professes a message of pacifism, not unpatriotic feelings. And Dalton Trumbo was blacklisted as part of the Hollywood 10 as a result of McCarthyism. You can always hear the people who are willing to sacrifice somebody else's life. They're plenty loud and they talk all the time. You can find them in churches and schools, newspapers and legislatures and Congress. That's their business. They sound wonderful. Death before dishonor. This ground sanctified by blood. These men who died so gloriously, they shall not have died in vain. Our noble dead. But what do the dead say? Did anyone ever come back from the dead? Any single one of the millions who got killed? Did any one of them ever come back and say, by God, I'm glad I'm dead, because death is always better than dishonor? Did they say, I'm glad I died to make the world safe for democracy? Did they say I like death better than losing liberty? Did any of them ever say it's good to think I got my guts blown out for the honor of my country? Did any of them ever say, look at me, I'm dead, but I died for decency, and that's better than being alive? Did any of them ever say, here I am, I've been rotting in a foreign grave for 2 years, but it's wonderful to die for your native land? Did any of them say, hooray, I died for womanhood, and now see how happy I am. I sing even though my mouth is choked with worms. Nobody but the dead know whether all these things people talk about are worth dying for or not. And the dead can't talk. So the words about noble deaths and sacred blood and honor and such are all put into dead lips by grave robbers and fakes who have no right to speak for the dead. If a man says death before dishonor, he is either a fool or a liar because he doesn't know what death is. He isn't able to judge. He only knows about living. He doesn't know anything about dying. If he is a fool and believes in death before dishonor, let him go ahead and die. But all the little guys who are too busy to fight should be left alone. And all the guys who say death before dishonor is pure bull, the important thing is life before death, they should be left alone too. Because the guys who say life isn't worth living without some principle so important you're willing to die for it, they're all nuts. And the guys who say, come, you'll see, there'll come a time. You can't escape, you're going to have to fight and die because it'll mean your very life. Or they're also nuts. They're talking like fools. They're saying 2 and 2 make nothing. They're saying that a man will have to die in order to protect his life. If you agree to fight, you agree to die. Now, if you die to protect your life, you aren't alive anyhow, so how is there any sense in a thing like that? A man doesn't say, I will starve to death to keep from starving. He doesn't say, I will spend all my money in order to save my money. He doesn't say, I will burn my house down in order to keep it from burning. Why then should he be willing to die for the privilege of living? There ought to be at least as much common sense about living and dying as there is about going to a grocery store and buying a loaf of bread.